Hello.
Hi, this is Diana with Metal Life. Is Mike available?
Yeah, this is Mike. Hi, Dan. How you doing?
I'm doing all right. How about yourself?
Yeah, I'm good, man. Just hanging out, waiting for your call.
Right on. Well, as long as you're good to go, we'll go ahead and jump right in on this. I really want to say thanks for you doing this for us. We're all huge Symphony X fans, and we just cannot wait to not only do the interview but to hear the album too. So thanks a lot. We really appreciate it.
Oh yeah, man. No problem at all, man.
All right. Well, first question I got for you is, I know that you've answered this question like countless times already, but can you tell our readers about the new album?
I mean, it's oh man, how do I sum it up here? It's a little bit of everything we've done, over the years, and every record you're trying to do something a little different. So there's a couple, kind of maybe newer things, a couple different approaches to the arrangements, but yeah, I mean, I think it's a good balance. There's some real heavy stuff. There's some very melodic stuff. Yeah, I think it's just a good blend of all those things. It's and I think the songs are really solid. Strong songs, good melodies. Some great riffs. It's yeah, I mean, we're really happy about it.
Cool. Well, is there a new tour to support it?
Yeah, the first coming up is September, October. We're going to be going out with Overkill, and they're good friends of ours. They're Jersey guys like us, and yeah, I mean, they're a little more thrashy than we are. Maybe we're a little more prog metal. They're a little more thrashy, but I think it's a good mix, and we always talked about doing something together. So yeah, that's the first thing we have coming up, and then obviously we'll be looking to do European tour, after the New Year, February, March maybe. So yeah, I mean, things are just, as far as touring, things are just kind of getting underway because I mean the album's not even out yet, so we're just planning as we go.
Right. Are you doing any of the festivals in Europe this year, or just kind of putting that off till next year?
Yeah, no, we're gonna wait till next year. Let this album come out, and obviously we're gonna start rehearsing and putting some sets together, and yeah. It's like I said, man. It's like feels like we just got done recording like yesterday. So it's like, well, kind of taking a breather, and yeah, I mean, we have plenty of time over the next 2 years or whatever the touring cycle is to get out and do as many things as we can.
Right. Well, out of the places you have lined up so far, are there any places or any venues that haven't been included that you'd like to play at?
Well, I mean, like I said, it's kind of early in the game. Things are still getting set up, and we haven't been to Australia yet, so maybe that's one place. And I'm sure, like next year, we'll do a Japan, Australia kind of run. But yeah, I mean, we'll play wherever people will have us. It's all good.
All right. Where would you say your most passionate fan base is?
I mean, I think they're all pretty passionate in their own way. But, probably South America, Brazil. Yeah, they're a little crazy down there. Good fans. Yeah, definitely very, very passionate, I think. But there's a lot of places, everywhere. Everybody kind of has their own way. But, yeah, going down there is always a lot of fun.
All right. Well, as you look back over the years, how would you say, at least in your opinion, how has the music industry changed since you guys first started?
Yeah, it's gotten pretty shitty, actually.
Yeah?
Yeah, I mean, it's hard these days. Obviously, a lot has changed. Yeah, it's definitely, I know a lot of guys starting out in bands and trying to get some headway with their music, and it's definitely tough. I mean, it's kind of saturated. It's, obviously with the internet has its good and bad things. For us, the bad thing is, all the illegal downloading and just all that kind of thing is makes getting any kind of royalties or any kind of money, it makes it's a little more difficult now. And for a new band starting out, they're trying to compete with, 10 million other bands that have something up there, and it's really hard. It's hard to kind of get noticed. So yeah, it's definitely different now. And I would definitely say it's harder. I think the music industry is in a weird place right now. A lot of guys and a lot of bands, and, they're, just trying to keep working and keep busy. It's definitely tough.
Oh, yeah, I can imagine. Well, as far as Symphony X goes then, now when you look back at your personal history, is there anything you might have that you wish you would have changed or maybe thought that you should have done differently now that you look back?
Maybe the time between albums has always been an issue. And you'd like to go back and maybe change it. And, because between the last 3 or 4 records, it's been, a pretty good span between each one.
Mm-hmm.
And obviously, one of the main reasons is because of the whole touring cycle. And it's really difficult to get into that writing mode. Especially for me, we're working on a record. It's like, yeah, that's the focus, you're putting all your energy into that. You're putting all your thought into it. And so, I had even tried writing on the road at one point and on the bus. And, everybody's goofing around. And, you're worried about the show. And there's all these other things and distractions. So it's really kind of hard to get in that zone to write. So, the way it just worked out for us, we put a record out. We toured on and off for the cycle 2 years, year and a half. And then we would kind of stop. And then we would start working on the album. And that would be a year, writing, recording, mixing, and all that.
Mm-hmm.
So you did have these big gaps, 3-4 year gaps between records. And it's like, yeah, it would be nice to go back and kind of change that. But at the same time, I don't know, it would be difficult to do. I don't regret it because I think the albums always, they were always solid. I thought never, the last few records, we never felt rushed. We were happy, with what we did.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, that might be the one thing, just to try to get that time between records down. But it's not like, having to do it all again, it might just be the same turnout anyway,
Right.
But, yeah, that's the one thing. I just wish we're able to do it a little quicker. But, it takes time to do these things, It does take time.
Absolutely. Well, so then, obviously the results of the albums have been great. Your fans have loved everything that you've done. But what do you think has been the key to Symphony X's longevity? How have you cats stuck around for so long?
We all love what we do, obviously. We all get along. We generally get along well. Everybody has their arguments from time to time. But, yeah, man, it's been together so long. And I think with each album we've done better. And the albums, I'm not going to necessarily say they've been getting better, but they're always different. They're always interesting, and it's always the best that we could do.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't like, oh, let's just try to rush out a record and get it done and whatever, and blah, blah, blah. Oh, man, there's a lot of work and, passion went into it. A lot of effort. We love doing it. We enjoy putting the records together. So, I think it's all those things,
mm-hmm.
And seeing that each one is a little more successful in terms of the touring or the sales and these kind of things. You feel like you are accomplishing something. It's taken friggin' 1 million years to get there, but it's like, okay, we're better off, than we were, in the beginning, obviously. So, yeah, as long as you're seeing that progress, everybody's getting along, everybody's excited about the music, and the fans are enjoying it, then, yeah, you just keep moving ahead.
Right. Well, then, other than great music, what would you say is something that really inspires you in life?
That's tough because usually it is music, but sometimes you could see a great film, you could see a great movie, or, something as simple as maybe just watching the kids goofing around in the backyard. There's so many things in life,
Yeah.
Yeah, I think everybody has their own thing, but for me, usually it's music. It's usually music or it's some other kind of, like I would say, a film or something that, kind of gets your mind going. And, I'm a big movie guy, big film guy. So that's usually my go-to thing, and checking out some new movies. And, yeah, there's some really great things out there, and it kind of gets you inspired a little bit. And maybe not necessarily to write the music, but to be like, well, I like this idea, and how can I maybe make some music that would work? And I think with us too, with every record, we try to find some kind of a theme.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe not necessarily on a movie, but maybe like with Paradise Lost or the Odyssey and some of these stories and things. I mean, that all kind of comes into play.
Right. Well, what is one thing that you would like your fans to know about you personally that they may not know about you?
Huh. Oh man, I don't know. Usually everyone knows everything about everybody these days, so it's kind of hard. No, I mean, I think they really do know most of the things that go on, and this record especially was definitely the fans were taken into consideration. I mean, if the last album, Iconoclast, was very heavy, and there was a lot of fans who loved it. And then there's a lot of fans who like some of the other stuff that's maybe more melodic or a little bit more on the progressive side. So when we were approaching this record, it was like, okay, we were definitely thinking of them, and there was some stuff written, that could have been on the Iconoclast album that those fans like. And then there's some stuff that maybe goes back to some of our older albums, some hints of different things that we've done in the past, and those fans would probably, I'm sure that they would love that. So, yeah, I mean, letting the fans know, it's like, yeah, their opinion does matter, as long as it's within reason.
Right.
But I mean, obviously, we do this all for ourselves. But I'm a pretty normal guy, man. Nothing crazy. There's really nothing crazy.
All right.
Average dude.
Average. Well, so then, what is something that, I don't know, an idea or a theme or something that you guys have kind of tossed around a bit, that you haven't done with the band yet? What is one thing that you would like to see accomplished with Symphony X that you haven't quite yet?
I don't know. I think every record we kind of accomplished what we set out to do. I mean, there's a lot of things that we were going to do and they didn't work out, which might have been good. I mean, after we did the Odyssey, we always talked about doing another big 20-minute song, but it just never felt right. But maybe the next record will be that. With this album, there was a couple things being tossed around and ideas, and I think everything we kind of stuck to what the whole framework was. So I don't think there's really anything, not that I can remember. Mm-hmm. Yeah, really nothing I can remember that we were going to do or we changed or, wish we had done something instead. I think, I think once that initial idea is kind of set up, like this record, it was the Dante and the Orpheus and the Underworld and some of these ideas, once that kind of gets, brought up and everyone's like, yeah, this could be cool, and then it feels right, and then you just work on the music and everything, and you build it around it, and you kind of don't look back,
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, no, I don't really think there's anything that we're going to do or didn't or wish we had done. I think we kind of stick to the plan every time, and it works out right, I mean, who knows? Next time is, obviously it'll be something totally different. I mean, who the hell knows what the hell it will be.
Mm-hmm.
But, yeah, there was really nothing, really nothing I wish we had done that we didn't. Yeah, I think we're all pretty conscious of making the right decisions when it comes to that. I mean, there was even a point on this record, early on we talked about this Dante's Inferno and kind of more cinematic. There is some orchestral sections and there is some sprinkling of the orchestra on some of the stuff. And we were talking, there was a time when all the songs were going to be connected. Like this was going to be just 1 hour long piece. And I had actually started working on some of these little segue pieces and, very cinematic. There was some orchestral stuff. And, I mean, whatever. It was kind of coming together. It really wasn't part of a plan. It kind of came about later. And then it's like, man, these songs are really good on their own, and this doesn't really feel right. And so we just didn't do it. I mean, it still would have been cool, but I think, once that initial thing is set up and we stick to it, and there's really no regrets about it.
All right. Now, do any of you guys, well, especially you, Mike, do you have any other, writing gigs or any other writing that you do outside of Symphony X, or do you kind of just focus just on the band that you have?
Yeah, I mean, I definitely focus on the band, but I'm always doing some stuff. I have friends or somebody wants me to play a solo on their record, or actually LaPon had just done a solo record, and Pinella, you know, kind of help those guys out with LaPon's thing. We did pretty much everything here at my place. So, you know, if somebody needs some help and wants me to play on something, yeah, there's always a lot of that going on. Even just talking about the Overkill guys, I was just doing something for them the other week. You know, friends in town who play, they want demos and that kind of thing. So yeah, I mean, you know, spending some time in the studio or just playing on some other people's albums. But yeah, I would never want another band. I mean, one is quite enough. Thank you. But yeah, I mean, there's definitely other stuff I do like doing. I've actually just been reaching out to some people in LA and Hollywood that are involved in film and TV and video game music and placement. So I mean, I got a bunch of stuff. Like I said, the films and the film scores. I really like that stuff too. A little bit of a different outlet. So yeah, I mean, if I can get a couple side gigs doing some of that stuff, that's great too. But you know, the band is always the priority.
Mm-hmm. Now, you know, there's a lot of obviously there's a lot of classical influence to your music, but are any of you guys classically trained in anything, or is that just something that you all seem to be very passionate about?
I think the only guy really, Pinella, what the heck did he go for? Maybe piano performance and, you know, the big classical teacher, maybe at Juilliard or something he was involved with. Yeah, you know, that whole classical piano thing. So I think he's got some of that. And the rest of us just go with the flow. I mean, I kind of learned as I go, and you know, just doing a lot of studying and a lot of reading and a lot of analyzing scores and things. And over the years, you know, you're always learning stuff. I mean, everyone's still learning as we go. Right. So yeah, I mean, I think having the real training is great, but yeah, if you have the passion and the curiosity to dive into it yourself, I mean, you can pretty much learn anything, you know, given some time and some energy. Absolutely. All right, man. That's all I got for you. It was a great interview. I appreciate your time. Yeah, no problem. Absolutely. All right, and we'll be looking forward to reviewing your album, and definitely going to hit you guys up when you come up here to Grand Rapids, so I can't wait. Did you hear the record yet, or no? No, not yet. I caught 2 tracks off of your website, but Nuclear Blast just sent it to me to review. So as soon as I finish up with you, that's what I'm hitting up next. Yeah, always curious to see what you guys are the first ones to hear it before everybody. So I like to get those initial reactions, but I'm sure you'll enjoy it. Oh yeah. I mean, I love the first 2 songs I've heard, and it's just. Yeah, I'm like excited. More of the same, and there's a little bit more heavy stuff on there as well. So yeah, it's a very diverse record. I think it's good, man. Good balance. I think it'll do well. Cool. All right. Well, take care, and I'll definitely see you on the road sometime. Yeah, pleasure talking to you, and we'll see you soon. Yeah, thanks a lot, Mike. All right. Bye-bye.